say a few words about
Okay,
my
quiet,
brother.
everyone.
My
Sherry,
brother. Let me
I'm
just say a
videoing
few
it.
words about Victor. Everybody knows what
Victor.
Victor looks like.
Victor.
First of all, I wanted to say that Victor was a big brother. So for me, he kind of guided me a lot. And when we were both born, we were extremely poor. And Victor had to take all the crap. If I messed up, Victor is the one that got in trouble. And when he was 18, he got his real estate license. And at that time, they just passed a law. If you're 18, you can get your real estate license. And so he got his real estate license and he started buying real estate. And as he got older, you know, we'd go to the bars and we'd have a few drinks and we'd get bombed. And one time, I'll never forget it, Victor came to the house at 4 in the morning drunk off his ass. And I had a van full of paint, so we took all the paint out, put a mattress in there. Victor was passed out. We threw him in the van, and he had never been to Vegas. And we drove to Vegas.
Oh my God.
It took us 6 hours to get there. And in the morning, he woke up. He goes, "Where the hell am I?" We go, "You're in Vegas." And we had so much fun. And me, him, and Raul. And then when he went to Maryland to go visit his kids, he had lost about 50 or 60 pounds. And in our family, we have heart disease. And he eventually had a heart attack and passed away. But he loved Robert. He used to tell me, he said, "Hey," I said, "Robert's driving me nuts." He goes, "You just have to accept your kids the way they are."
Yeah.
And once I listened to him, I started getting along with Robert.
You're a lot easier to deal with.
And he was right. I mean, he gave good advice. In fact, he's the one that got me into real estate, and I'm grateful for him for doing that because I was a house painter, and I kind of followed my big brother's lead, and I really appreciated that. Does anybody have anything to like to say about him? Here.
Well, I've known Vic for a really, really long time, and he had a special place in my heart, and he's always really super positive, you know. And we told him, you know, Vic, you gotta go to the doctor, you gotta go to the hospital, and he always wanted to do like homeopathic shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Celery
he
juice
didn't
was
want,
his favorite.
Yeah. It's just I can figure this out. I'm gonna
Celery.
do this. I'm gonna do this like this cleanse, and I'm gonna be good, Carol. And so I said, well, no, we got to get your medication to go, you know, together. So get all this medication. And he goes, well, I'm going to wait for the nurse because, you know, he just like didn't trust anybody. It's just like, I just need to hear from the nurse that, you know, this is all the right stuff. But Vic is, he was always very positive, and he was just a freaking he was just a super nice
He didn't
guy.
hate people.
Everything was always just like the best. You know, it's like everything's okay.
Yeah.
And I think he got, I don't know, I think Michelle got a little bit of him. Michelle's always been like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, Vic was a super sweetheart, and I miss him and really loved him like a brother. He's a good guy.
In fact, you're the one that told us something's wrong because he
So I
didn't
went,
answer.
so I went to Robert and Eddie were outside, and I said, you know, because I would talk to him like all the time, and I said I haven't heard from him, and he's not answering my call, and he would always get back to me. I said, well, he hasn't called me back, and it's been 2 days. I said, I'm really concerned. Can you go down there? And Eddie goes, oh, I'm scared of somebody. Maybe he's dead. I'm like, oh my God. So Robert is on the phone with Mike at the time, and I'm like, you know what? Somebody needs to go down there.
I went down there.
Robert never saw a dead
Yes.
body before. Yeah.
So anyway,
It's okay, so he died quickly.
Yeah.
It says on the
Death certificate.
death certificate that he did have a heart attack, passed out, and died peacefully.
Yeah.
And
that's all you can hope
and we
for in
miss
life.
him.
well, yeah, of course.
So I want to say something about Vic. Vic
Okay.
was a goofball. He was always making jokes and always like, well, what's the story, Morning Glory, whenever he'd see you. And then we always have this thing that we always laugh about when we think of Vic is when we had the house over on Clump, the toilet paper holder kept coming off the wall, and we would try everything to get it to go back on. So he's trying this, he's trying that, and the thing just keeps falling off, and then finally he goes and opens up a big spot in the wall and puts a piece of plywood in there and puts the toilet paper holder back on. And I'll be damned if that thing didn't still fall off. But finally, I got some glue and just glued it up there.
And it worked fine.
And it worked fine after that for the years it lasted. But he was just funny. He was just a crack up and always was making jokes about everything.
He's always happy.
He was
He
a
was
good
happy.
guy.
He
Yeah,
could
he
have
had a good
he could
heart.
put a bathroom in 2 days. Go ahead.
Come on, yeah.
Say one thing.
I'll say
Sam.
something about him.
Go
All
ahead.
right, do it, Robert.
When I was younger, we used to work together all the time. We did Dad's triplex together. When he was living in Glendale with a girl named Carol, I used to go there all the time, and we would always go swimming together and stuff. And we had this thing in the family where we would say, "You have Victor Allis syndrome," when you would make like a funny joke, you know, or a joke that did, or a
That
joke
didn't
that really
make-
makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
It's true.
the funnest part was working with him. He taught me a lot of things that my dad didn't teach me, like how to work power tools and frame and drywall aspect.
And he
of
loved
everything.
working with you too.
Yeah, and we banged out that triplex in a short period of time, and he knew everything that he was doing.
You guys made it into a fourplex.
Yeah, we made it. Yeah, it ended up being a fourplex.
Is that a mistake or a
No,
positive?
on
It's a
purpose,
positive.
on purpose.
And
With a laundry
I
room.
just want to say
Yes.
that I miss him. I found him dead, unfortunately, but I think he went peacefully without pain. I know he was in pain before, but I don't think that he was in pain when he did pass. So that's
That's
the
the
only
main thing.
positive that I can think about all of
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and he loved you, Robert.
Absolutely.
And I love him
He
too.
loved you. He really loved you because he used to say to me, just let Robert be the way he is and accept him the way he is and don't try to fight him all the time. And so I listened to him and then we started getting along.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I just have to, even if he's an ass, I'll have to accept him.
I have a quick and easy, real quick.
Yeah, well, let's hear it.
I don't have a lot of memories of Victor,
Right.
but what I do are in my heart. And I care about all of you and him. Okay?
Okay.
And I loved his smile. He always gave me smiles.
Yeah, yeah. He was definitely optimistic.
And he acted like he genuinely liked me, you know?
Yeah, he
So-
did.
Vic liked everybody. He
We loved Greg too. We loved
I
Greg.
just wanted to
I
say,
don't know.
when you seen Greg,
He was always happy.
you know?
He was just
He's
happy.
always
happy. Always smiling.
Yeah, I wish I was more like that because I'm not. Victor was happy-go-lucky.
You're a lot like him though when it comes to the positiveness.
He just had that smile. He just, I don't know.
Does anybody else want to say anything?
Nettie says something. Come on, Nettie.
For me, Uncle Vic always smile. He always happy, no matter how hard or situation. He always happy, no matter bad or good. He happy, positive all the time, and he always give us a smile, always caring, and give us a big hug.
Even if things were bad, he was
Yeah, he'll
always
keep
smiling.
smiling. He really
I
positive.
know, I thought he wasn't right in the head sometimes. Yeah, we were having an earthquake and he's like, hey, this is fun.
Well, he did fall off the ladder, so we were worried
Yeah,
that
he-
caused something.
one thing that happened when he was younger, I was living with him, just me and him, and he fell off a 3-story building, cracked his head open. He walks in the house, and I said, dude, you got blood coming out of your head. And he says, so what? And he went to bed. So I called the ambulance, right? And they came over, and they said, you got to go to the hospital because I ain't going nowhere. And the guys told me, we can't make him go. And so I said, well, look, he's got blood coming out of his head. They go, it doesn't matter. If he doesn't allow it, then we can't make him go. So he just went to bed, and the next day woke up, and he
And he was goofy ever
was
since.
goofy.
So I have something to say about the hospital experience. When he first went into the hospital, first of all, he was basically forced. But when he went into the hospital and they told him he needed to have the pig valve,
The aorta valve.
aorta replaced, and they went in there and put in 3 stents. As soon as he came out, he said, they're trying to kill me. No, Vic, they're trying to help you.
Where's my celery juice?
I didn't know that was the very first time Vic had ever been in the hospital.
Very
And
first,
he was
refused to go.
68 years
He used
old.
to think doctor.
That was his very first time. So he wasn't into Western medicine, so to speak, but he, if he would have just followed through a few more things, maybe he would have been here. Maybe God says it's his
He
time.
might have always died in
We don't know.
surgery, too.
We don't know.
Ryla, what do
So,
you have to say about
Anyway, I loved him very much. He
Yeah,
always said I
say
was
something about your uncle.
the best daughter-in-law
one
ever.
little thing?
And he always said, I wish I could find a woman
Don't be
just
don't be
like
afraid
you.
to say something.
And I thought, oh, that's so sweet, you know.
Yeah, but you
But
didn't know him,
anyway, I
so what do you
loved him very
remember
much.
about him?
Hey, Ryla, one thing. Ryla, I know Ryla can say one thing.
When you die, don't you want some people saying nice stuff about you? Funny stuff?
I used to play roly-poly.
So every time I got to deal with Vic, he always had a silver lining. If the world could be crumbling down, he would find something good to say. When you shook the man's hand, you knew he had at least 50 years of hard work when he shook you back. And one of the stories, my favorite story I have with Vic, we were working on a house with Mike, and we had Terry Blitzo up with us. And it was a house up in Hayden. And Terry for some reason, had to go up in the attic. And Vic's got to leave. And he's like, all right, if Terry doesn't come out in like 20 minutes, he's probably dead. Give me a call. Well, I'm doing my own thing. I totally forget about Terry. It's been 45 minutes. I'm like, oh, he hasn't been down. So I kind of like bang in there like, Terry! No answer. And I instantly call Vic up. Vic, I think he's dead. And then he's like, no, just bang somewhere far down, you know. So I bang on the roof up top, and all of a sudden I hear this slight voice, like, what?
What did you
yeah.
fall asleep up there?
I don't know.
He probably did know
He
his
didn't tell
You know
me.
what's weird, though?
He came down dizzy.
Terry died the same day Victor died. And they were childhood friends.
And it's like this.
Yeah, that's
Wait, Terry
They were
passed away?
brothers almost.
Yeah, they were like
They died the same
They
day.
both died the same day. Isn't that
I didn't even know that.
One died in L.A., Terry was in L.A., and Victor died in Robertstown.
out together then.
That's what Carol said. They're taking the J train.
Yeah, they're on their way
Yeah.
to Vegas.
They're both on the J
Vegas.
train.
That's the first time I ever heard that one, Carol.
Yeah, you
I
know,
like
To
this.
Jesus.
we worked on a house down, one of Mike's houses on Park. And so I was just like the helper. And so Vic says, well, who's going to get Carol? So either she helps me or she helps you, Terry. So Terry goes, I'll take her. He goes, okay, good. So we're working and shit, and then all of a sudden I hear Vic, will you come down, or Carol, come down here and help me. And Terry's like, no, you said you didn't need her help. She's helping me. So we go down there and we both helped him out, but it was just like, Victor could always just do everything himself. I mean, he's just a self-made guy, you know. He
could.
really was. He could do a lot of stuff. And he never needed help with it. That's why he said, just, you can take her.
You can take
And
her.
the thing of it is, you can
And then
totally tell
Junior
that they're
wants to say
brothers.
something else.
Yeah, but they were
Look,
both.
look at the two of them.
They were both great guys.
Yeah,
I
we
love.
look
You can
alike.
tell that they're
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
And,
You know?
he was
That
a
picture
good
was
brother.
in
He
Las
was a
Vegas.
very good brother to me. I was lucky to have him.
Yeah.
Your brother was a very generous man. His time,
Go ahead.
his money,
Please speak.
who he was as a person. He just expressed, I mean, he made you feel good. I mean, you could be
Yeah.
the biggest piece of shit in the world. They could be smiling and shaking your hand going, oh, well, you're doing all right. You know, and he was just incredible that way. He didn't judge.
Never.
He didn't stereotype, nothing. He appreciated every person on this planet.
Go see Papa.
He was an amazing guy. He was an amazing guy.
He was your neighbor, correct?
My neighbor. He was my neighbor.
Yeah, they were neighbors.
He was my neighbor.
It's okay, brother.
He was a good man.
I just wanted to give you a little hug.
Come on, man.
I didn't know if you were waiting.
All right, let's go home then. You can go to bed, okay?
Okay, who wants to play a game of bingo right now? Win some
Let's
cash
do
money.
it! Victor
Can we
Bingo!
just play right here, babe?
We're gonna play VICT.
Can we just play right here?